Hello and welcome back to Dial H for Heroclix. I'm your sexy ranch hand co-host Kalder and Simeon. This episode, we're going to talk about some dials from Rise and Fall, a little bit of Rise and Fall thoughts. We're going to answer a couple of listener questions, talk about our top 5 legacy cards that we would want to make, characters we always think should be modern, and when's a good time to sell a figure, as well as make custom dials of each other. This is episode 367. Howdy, howdy, let's get rowdy.
So if you're looking for emotional satisfaction, my advice to you is seek professional...
Heroclix?
No.
Are you serious? Again? How many people even play this game? Like 100?
Instant deadpan humor.
Over 6 people think I am funny.
It's a hard day's work. Not that you know anything about that. Which,
You absolute fools, it's not.
Witcher nonsense.
I'm gonna make Heroclix like that forever. Are you kidding me?
Hey Google, attack someone.
Let's attack Simeon, because he's a jerk.
Wow.
Dial H for Heroclix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, including all of the latest Heroclix singles and sealed products. Make sure you check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Use code DIAL5, that's DIAL, the number 5, 5% off your Cool Stuff Inc. order. Joining me, like always, in the studio is your Dial H for Heroclix champion, the Billion Clicks Brews. What's going on, Simeon?
Oh, what's that? You said you want to hear about the water of the week, Calder?
Water of the week. Okay.
The water of the week.
Yeah, let's do the water of the week.
Water. And it's from far west Texas, according to the can, made with 100%
West
agave
Texas.
and natural lime juice. So let's listen to their
Wow.
story. A
Oh,
lone
boy.
river cuts through the hot desert of far west Texas. Out of the lone river flows ranch water. Legend has it, the first soul to taste ranch water followed miles of Texas stars until found asleep under a piñon tree. While what transpired on that journey remains a mystery, its spirit inspires to this day. Tastes like LaCroix.
What?
I don't know. It tastes like LaCroix, though.
So wait. All right. So this is in this river. It's ranch water, and ranch water is guave and lime. Apparently.
Agave, yeah.
Ranch water to
Whatever that
me,
is. I don't know what
agave.
that is.
Pardon me. Clearly not Texan enough to understand.
No.
And it's like, what happened? Oh, he wandered to the desert for some time and was found beneath a tree of which I don't know what it is. I'm not a botanist. All right.
No. A
Interesting.
piñon tree.
Ranch water.
It's probably not even how
See-
it's pronounced.
It not being just a can full of ranch dressing means it's not ranch water. First of all, second of all, it not being
ranch
like
mixed with
it
water.
not being like
Ugh,
that would be so gross.
disgusting, yeah.
It not being like well water, because to me that's ranch water. Was
Yeah.
like when you have a well or like
Right, it's
a
an
cattle
aquifer,
tank.
or-
You like
yeah.
take a sip out of the hose. Yeah, that's ranch water. That's the good kidney stone inducing water. That's good for you
Ain't
right
got
there.
none of them government chemicals in it. Just pure.
That's
dirt
right.
and-
There ain't nothing turning the frogs
cattle
gay on
food.
this ranch. I tell you what, boy, ain't
But
happening.
yeah, that's I don't
Cool.
know. Kind of sounds like the dude had like a hallucinogenic trip, and then they were like, "Hey,
Yeah, that's
we should collect this water and pan it and sell it." Because who doesn't want to like go wandering in the middle of Texas heat and wake up under a tree, possibly days
Yeah.
later? Maybe he just drank way too much. It's like drink sparingly kind of thing. I don't know. But that's the water of the week.
cactus juice
Ranch
is getting
water.
to 'em.
It says
lime.
far west
Thank you.
Texas. But it's actually just Houston, so it's actually just
Oh.
Houston.
That's some city boy water.
Yeah.
Ranch water. Yeah, what the heck? It's yuppie water. My water of the week is coming from my fridge upstairs. That's some good stuff right there. Some fridge water. Delicious. And it actually is rural water because it's connected through the reservation that's by us. So it's reservation rural water co. So that's real ranch water right there, ladies and gentlemen. Simeon, what made you happy this week, my man?
Ooh, what made me happy this week was on Friday. the one day I didn't work this week, it was a real nice, cool day.
It was
There was
a high of
overcast.
80, and in the morning it was like 65 or whatever, right?
It was overcast, rained a little bit, but it wasn't like super humid like the rest of the week. Man, what a nice day to be out. Even though I didn't have to be. But I did take my dog to the dog park on Friday. I've been trying to every Friday take him down there and introduce him to other dogs, and met one called Bear this week with his nice owner Sarah, who is a kind older lady that did call my dog fat, so there is like a little contention there. Sarah, he's just big boned. He's got winter weight. He's got a lot of excuses that I'll give him, but he's not chunky. Okay, he's fine. But yeah, he had a fun time. I had a less than fun time, but the weather at least was nice. So yeah, that was what made me happy. I also got a Fulcum Abominus in the mail, which I don't know why I wouldn't be happy about that. I honestly, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people like, I can't remember the word for it, but I've seen a lot of people posting where they're like not retroactively, but they're acting like people are still upset. And I was like, it was a hot minute, and I'm pretty sure there was some on Facebook, but it was mostly on HC Realms where people were upset about the case incentive. But there's people that are like hedging their appreciation, and it's just weird. It's like, Whiz Kids, it doesn't matter what I get. I still think you did a good thing. And it was like, well, yeah, but Whiz Kids doesn't care that you think that. They already got your money. And honestly, they're probably gonna do this again, but they don't care. Whiz Kids doesn't care about any of us. Man, this ranch water, it's hitting different. I think I might.
It is hitting different. What made me happy this week, and it was a lot of things. So 2 years ago, after Endgame came out, I instantly pre-ordered the Captain America 112 scale Hot Toys collectible. Finally got that this week. Really stoked about that. So that was it's a Hot Toys. It's a 12-inch figure. It's huge. It has real clothes and everything. It's got Mjolnir, a shield, a broken shield, tons of accessories, hands, all sorts of cool stuff. Just a super high-end quality figure. I was very happy to get that. As well as my mail brought me the Amazon 80th anniversary Captain America box. So there's a ton of hyper-focus, sadly, for Wonder Woman this year, and it seems that DC is pushing the Wonder Woman 80th more than Marvel is pushing the Cap 80th, which is just kind of sad. But the Amazon box had a sweet shirt that had like the 80s, late 80s, early 90s armored Captain America when he was losing Super Soldier Serum. It had the classic Captain America. It had the Captain normal like Steve Rogers, the see-through clear shield. Sadly, it had Hydra Cap kind of front and center on the shirt, but I'll get over it. I can get past it. But it's a great shirt, as well as the Funko Pops in the box were Captain America's Nomad, which is dope, and then World War II Ultimates cap, and like a pin and some other stuff. But I was like, that was the first Amazon box in a long time where I was like, okay, I dig it. So the mail was on fire this week, as well as we finally got to see a full trailer with full gameplay, as well as seeing more locations and more playable characters for the Evil Dead game that is coming out later this year. So we got to see that Henry the Red is going to be in the game. We got to see the lady cop from Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 1 is going to be in the game. Cheryl's going to be in the game. All sorts of characters. I was very excited about that. We learned that you'll be playing against Deadites. There's going to be two modes, they said. One's definitely a horde mode, and then in it they said that you can also play as the Kandarian like demon spirit, and you can possess other Deadites. And they didn't say you could play as him, but they did show him, and there was Evil Ash from Army of Darkness just ripping up Scotty, which was great. And that makes me excited. It makes me slightly worried that it's going to be a Dead by Daylight, but you can fight back. I never played any Dead by Daylight, but if it's just this constant online play against one person, you're a team of four, I feel like it would get kind of old pretty quickly. But if there's also just like a generic like Deadite demon horde mode, I'd be pretty cool with that, where it's like you can just keep having waves of them, Nazi zombie style from Call of Duty would be great. If somehow they do split screen with this game, and I know I sound incredibly old when I say that, but like if they do split screen, then this game is going to be my all-time favorite game ever made, like ever. Like I hate trying to play online and trying to like coordinate and like get friends to play or whatever, but if I can just like, bro, when you're over, let's play zombies, let's, play Evil Dead, that's awesome. I'm probably one of the few people that misses split screen, but that's how I played video games for most of my life on like the PS2, PS3 like era of stuff. And like, I love it. I love it though. The Evil Dead game made me super excited. I sat through like 2 hours of this terrible Summer Games Festival, and I had to watch tons of trailers that I didn't care about. I had to watch Weezer do a song. It was painful, Simeon. It was really tough to sit through some of that stuff. Sadly though, everybody no, not this song. Not this song anyways. Sadly, not as many people online were as excited about Evil Dead. They were excited about some super lame game called Elden Ring, which just looks like some fantasy BS, which is so disgusting to me. So I was a little peeved that the rest of the internet was not sharing my excitement for an incredibly niche 80s horror video game, 40-year-old movie that's coming back, but instead it's some weird AAA title. Lame. But yeah, no, great week. Finally seeing that trailer. Awesome seeing gameplay, and then just how good it looks. It just blows my mind. And then, like I said, getting the Captain America stuff in the mail was just like bone appetit, except not food, but substance for the soul, because it was amazing. It was amazing. But all right, we have quite the episode to get to, and by quite the episode, not much. So let's go ahead and kick into a little bit of the news. We got to see some more Rise and Fall dials spoiled this week from various places, from unboxings to whatever. What are those things called when they make articles online? Articles? Yeah, sure, whatever. People on their websites posting little pictures. All that jazz.
WordPress.
Yeah,
Clicks
some jazz like that.
Yeah.
We saw... look, this set is not good. And that's not me saying it as an X-Men hater. That's me saying it as like a Heroclix player. It doesn't look fun to play within itself. It does also not look fun to play after it. I think a lot of this set is super, super skippable. However, keeping that in mind, I'm going to talk about Dewpool really quick, because he is kind of fun. And, keyword here being kinda. He's 75 points. He's got cosmic energy. Team player, he's flight and tiny. 6 range, 2 bolts, tons of keywords, Brotherhood of Mutants, Celebrity, Deadpool Core, Warp World, Weapon X, X Factor, X-Men, and X Statics. He has a special attack, defense, speed, and damage powers. He's 4 clicks long. He has Pen Blast on clicks without his special attack. He has Impervious on clicks without his special defense. He has Prob on clicks without his, guess what, special whatever prob power. Oh, and then he has Running Shot on clicks without his special speed power. However, he has all of those powers on every click, because believe it or not, every single one of those powers gives it to him. So he's a full dial of Running Shot, Pen Blast, Impervious, and Prop. So he starts off with his special speed. Hey, you can't leave yet. The fun just started. It's Running Shot, and opposing characters within range can't be placed. This is probably... I'm not going to say it's his best one, but it's really good. He has 6 range. This is his most useful within his range, I think, because then it has the widest cannot be retailed on range that anyone has. Bigger than, I think, is it Harry Leland, and bigger than the Citizen Steel guy. So this is interesting.
4 and 4.
And then his special attack is the second click. Oh yeah, Valeria. His second click, it goes the special attack. By the way, he starts like an 8, 10, 16, 1, and his stats just all go up by 1. So then the next click is a 9 speed, 11 attack, 17 defense, 2 damage. Then it's a 10 speed, 12 attack, 18 defense, 3 damage. Then an 11, 13, 19, 4. His stats all go up by 1 as he takes damage. And then he has a special attack power, which is Pen Blast. Power, unequip all opposing characters within range. This is also pretty gross. You're obviously going to have to like TK him or something to maybe get placement better, but this also makes use of his 6 range really, really well. Some of these don't make use of his 6 range super great. I kind of wish he at least had an above average 7 range, but it is what it is. Next up, his special defense is, of course, a stop click. It's impervious. Opposing characters in range can't deal penetrating damage. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. I like that one. And then his final stop click on click 4 is 2 stop clicks in a row. Real original. Stop, prob. When this click is revealed, Dupool can't be healed the rest of the game, and opposing characters in range can't use stop. So this is where you really want to move him a little more. So this set is full of stop clicks and then also full of characters that get rid of stop clicks, which is so weird. I guess WizKids decided, man, that stop mechanic sure is wild, huh? And just decided to give everyone either a stop click or a way to get rid of stop clicks, or in Dupool's case, both of them.
I'm just glad
75 points.
He seems like a reasonable price for, and I'm not being sarcastic, for 75 points, 4 clicks deep, 2 stop clicks, actually seems reasonable.
He does, however, have a case of suffering from Lex Luthor syndrome, which is there's no way to activate him unless someone shoots him, So if you want to get to the whole power unequip all opposing characters, which is really good, which is his click 2, you have to whatever, you got to deal him damage somehow. You have to figure it out. You have to ultimate nullifier him, and actually you might skip past that since it's not even a stop click. So that's actually kind of rough.
Yeah, or you have to do something where stop clicks only activate on opposing damage. So you have to do something that deals damage but doesn't deal him too much damage. Because I think ultimate nullifier, if you rolled wrong, could just KO him. Although I guess with that you'd probably pick like a 1, and then you'd pick a 1.
But it also deals regular damage, so his reducer would reduce it. So
3.
I take back the ultimate nullifier. I guess Fabian Cortez can deal people damage, right? If you get lucky. And then I suppose the X-Men team ability could also deal him damage, right? So X-Men team ability could do it. That's not super reliable on the dealing damage part.
Right. There's a couple different ways he can get around it. Not a lot, but there's a few things.
I think people are going to try to make him work for sure in competitive. And in casual, I think he's just absolutely play him. I think he's fun. Even if he is a 10 for 1, 6 range double bolt, he can still be annoying. And what is Deadpool and Dupe existence but to be annoying, With power cosmic and impervious and being able to stop penetrating on, one of his clicks, I think he's pretty fun. Number 1, he's a fun piece. And is it a chase I'm going to try to get? I would probably try to get him if he was a super rare, but I wouldn't pay chase price for him because I'm not a Deadpool or Dupe fan. But I think if you are a Deadpool or Dupe fan, man, this is going to be an expensive set for Deadpool fans, I just realized.
Yeah.
But I think it's fun. I think it's a really fun casual piece, and I think people will try to make it meta. But that is the one dial I wanted to look at for Rise and Fall this week.
Yeah. We saw Firebelly, who's the only interesting thing is he's 50 points and has special energy explosion poison power where he can deal penetrating damage.
Right, the other Warp World.
Yeah. We already saw Weapon Hex, but we saw Speed Weasel, who also has Defenders and Mystics. There's no shape change in this set, so Death Streak, which is the combo Mystique and Death Strike, has the power Shapeshifter, which gives plasticity sidestep. Opposing characters 4 or more squares away can't draw lines of fire to Death Streak. She doesn't get shape change, but she's...
Man, if only they just had a power that could just do that. Maybe they should just unbench a certain power to make that trait
To be fair, 4 or more squares away can't draw a line of fire for her first 4 clicks.
Probably better than shape change, honestly.
Probably better.
Yeah.
And you can give it to her still
I concur.
With Carnage Symbiote or, the Ring.
Now you're doing too much.
But, I mean, if you really want, you really want your Death Streak to be Shapeshifter approved.
Yeah.
No, we also saw... I guess we technically saw the legacy cards previously, so we're still missing a
Yeah,
few
we did.
legacy cards. But we did see the Magneto from the
Ooh,
giant
yes.
size X-Men
Yeah.
pop up into the 100+ range on the secondary market, because clearly giant size X-Men was released back in 2011, so there's no sealed out there really anymore. But yeah, he popped up to about $100+ is what people are asking for. I don't know if anyone's paid that, but if you do, just know he's probably not meta viable. I don't know why you're paying that much for him. Probably wait until the legacy card rotates and he drops back down if you really want him. It is a really cool sculpt, a really cool figure. It's just not worth. I'm sorry, but when I think of a figure and I think of someone paying $100+ for it, it has to be something, because at that point I'm not just buying it as like a collector. I'm buying it as something I'm going to play. Am I going to play this Magneto casually? Not for that kind of money. Am I going to play this Magneto competitively? Probably not. Can some people make it work? Yes. Yeah, it's got the right keywords. It's got some good stuff on it. It's not a bad figure. But is it going to make like every competitive team for the next year? Because that's what it would have to do for me to spend over $120 on it. No, the answer for me is no. I'll build around it. It might be real good. It might be real hard to like fight against. I don't really care. I'll build around it. I'll build with everything other than that one figure.
It's really hard to build around it, Simeon, though, because the only thing you have to put on your team is outwit, and then you've successfely beaten a 175-point character. So, yeah,
but how are you
tough to build around
with
this
range,
figure.
Calder? It's not like there's some character
you're right.
out there that
Pardon me.
comes with outwit traded and can target through
and can target you without
objects
being
or
within your
something.
10 range, across the map or something wild like that.
For also $120-ish, and let's see, a third of the points. Yeah.
Yeah. To demolish someone who is over half your build total at 175, this Magneto.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not. It's not that good. It's like casual fun. Yes. Casual fun. Oh, heck yeah. He's casual fun. He's not that good. And now I do understand that we are not a competitive Heroclix podcast, but we still have opinions, believe it or not. And I'm not to poo-poo on all the Magneto fans out there, but he's not that great. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
I mean, I straight up stated I didn't think Krakoan Revival was a competitive mechanic. And I'll actually stand by that.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's competitive viable. But that being said, Brad Broyles did win second, I guess placed second twice, like back-to-back events.
How much did he use Krakoan Revival, though? Like, he had it on his team, sure. But how much did he, use it,
I don't know, because,
That's what
I don't know how the
about.
team works. But here's the other thing is, I just don't want to run that team, so I don't have to even worry about it.
Yeah.
I can have that opinion, never play it, and it works
I
out.
do actually like Brad's team, though, with the Maggot. Maggot disgusts me.
Well, I just like Maggot
on like just a normal level.
He's a really good 40 points.
I think it is he is a good 40 points, but as a character, he disgusts me. The quick Google has shown he would not be a character I would ever put on any of my X teams. Or would I play an X team, I guess, so that makes that easier. I do want to point out some uncommons from this set that might be the best figures in the set, and that is 028 and 27, Magneto and Professor X. So they both have the Sue Storm wife swap ability, but for different keywords. So X-Men, Shi'ar, and Illuminati for 25 points. Old Charles Xavier here, and he's a stealth, outwit, combat reflexes, top dial. So not a terrible 25 points.
No. Plus X-Men X-Men team ability and 8 range.
Oh, and he has traded leadership, which is cool. His traded leadership is part of his rally. I didn't quite notice that, which is neat. But it's the whole, at the beginning of the game, you can replace 5 friendly characters with the same number of characters from your sideline on their starting clicks. Replacement and replaced characters must have the X-Men, Shi'ar, or Illuminati keywords and different names. Total points of replaced characters can exceed total points of the replaced characters. And then Magneto does the same thing, but for, let's see, Acolytes, Hellfire Club, and Brotherhood of Mutants. So that could also be very good in its own right, but Magneto is 40 points. However, he's also a really good 40 points. Barrier, ESD, and then friendly characters with a shared keyword within range, 6 range, and line of fire can also use ESD. He also has sidestep TK and a full dial of leadership. 6 range, 2 targets, 11 for 3 for 40 points. Not terrible. Maybe not competitively what you need from 40 points, but being able to replace Brotherhood, Acolytes, and Hellfire Club can be really solid. I'm curious to see whether or not a Brotherhood or Acolytes team will be useful after the set. I think Hellfire Club is starting to get some juices. I mean,
Yeah,
but I've never seen
absolutely.
someone play a Hellfire Club team. At least I haven't seen it, but I do think they are getting a better keyword between Jason, Tri-Sentinel,
Yeah.
Harry, and a few other characters.
So,
I think
yeah,
Hellfire
it's-
Club is just becoming a very solid team.
I've seen it played a few times because occasionally people will play like just all the chases from a set. So when
Oh, sure.
XPS came out, there was a team that was like Jason, Harry, Leland, Emma, and like Sebastian Shaw or something like that. Not that
Oh,
wasn't like a
Sebby.
competitive build, but I do know like Tri-Sentinels were used competitively on Hellfire Club themes. You could play like 2 Tri-Sentinels, like 1 at 100 or 2 at 100, and then 3 at 30 or something like that. But yeah, the other thing to keep in mind with these 2 guys, just like Sue Storm, is because they have the keywords, they can swap themselves out. So that makes at least Magneto a very good utility piece, where if you have another leadership or you don't need a TK on your team, or like you just really need a, XYZ to take down something your opponent has. It's a great, I really like the mechanic for the Fantastic Four because it's a great like Swiss Army knife, switch up your team. Just like the Dooms, the many faces of Dooms trait was like pretty decent for that. Not quite as good as this, because this just lets you pull from so much. Professor X letting you, I don't really know what Professor X, what you're doing. Are you sneaking some Shi'ar onto an X-Men build? Are you just playing an X-Men build and just possibly swapping out? Like maybe, so at the beginning of the game, so maybe you have like that 50-point Jubilee, you lose map, you swap her out because
That'd be a good idea.
without being on the right map. So, I mean, that's an instant use I can think of. And then for 25
also,
points, Professor X can become
Fantastic
like Phoenix.
Four is good, but you're switching out, the same 10 or so characters with Fantastic Four, right? There's not tons of diversity with what we have in modern with Fantastic
Right.
Four. To be fair, I haven't seen that team played after Feature Foundation, so there's a few more pieces in there, I guess. None come to mind, but there probably are a few pieces there that
Yeah,
are
it's
useful.
hardly
But in the
worth
terms
it,
of
though.
X-Men, for how many freaking X-Men are in modern right now, the world is your oyster with what you can switch out. Honestly, at this point, only having 9 sideline slots might seem like too little for something like this. This is actually something that makes me think about my sideline. Definitely not the ally trait, but this makes me think about my sideline and how important it will be, because X-Men, Fantastic Four, and heck, potentially Hellfire Club are super, super prominent keywords right now. So
And the fun thing about this
these are great.
it's a little hard to like work around the wording of it, but the fun thing about these replacement things is as long as it's the same number of characters that you're replacing. So I've got this 25-point Xavier and let's say that 50-point Jubilee. I can swap in any 2 other X-Men. It has to be 2. Any 2 other X-Men that are under 75 points combined. So it doesn't have to be the exact same, but they have to be under 75. So it doesn't have to be a 1-for-1 swap. It doesn't have to be a 25-point piece for Professor X. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. But yeah, it's actually like a real fun way. it's not really fun, I guess. It's kind of aggravating sometimes doing all like the different like math and trying to work out before like as the game's like beginning. You're like, wait, if I swap out that guy and then this guy and then how do I do this? Because then
That can be a little annoying.
Yeah, it gets to be a little.
However,
much,
I will
but,
say,
it's
I will say one
pretty
thing.
fun.
I prefer this to like entity or pick a power, because then it's like most pick a powers at the beginning of your turn. So that like take this decision, but then make it happen at the beginning of every single one of your turns throughout the game,
sure.
right? So I would definitely prefer this. Choosing once at the beginning of the game, this person, and this person for this person, versus at the beginning of your turn, choose 4 powers like Super Scroll was, or something, and then it's like, I've got 2 supers, or I got, I normally have like 3 Super Scrolls on my team, so I'm always like sitting there thinking, what do I want this one to do? This one has a token, this one doesn't, this one could running shot, this one could charge, whatever, right? Like, so I definitely prefer this just at the beginning of the game, like think fest versus every single turn having to like figure it out. So this I do like.
Yeah, I
But
like
it
it
still
more.
does. Yeah, it still does take time.
It still gives you the Swiss Army knife effect without being as annoying as ID cards. So it's like the figures still end up on the board. Yes, you get like an advantage over your opponent because like you can switch stuff up as soon as like at the beginning of the game. So you could be like, oh, you built this. Well, like I have a counter on my sideline and you can swap it in, but it's not as annoying as the ID card mechanic was, where you would just call them in and then they'd zoop off the map and never get scored.
Yeah. But all right, is there any more Rise and Fall we wanted to talk about, or are we set for this set discussion here?
I mean, until we see the last legacy cards. Yeah, I've already mentioned the figures that I actually care about in this set. I think Blackheart is, if we do see Hellfire Club competitively, I think Blackheart is somewhere in there. He is way too good to ignore. I really haven't seen enough that I think is like nothing that outpaces what we saw in XDPS, to be honest. Like, I just there's stuff that adds to it, of course, but man, you know what would have been really cool is if Smasher had like a +5 point trait where he could just add the exospecs to his card.
That'd be awesome.
Because
that would be good.
For 100 points, the fact that he has toughness at 17 toughness as a reducer, his whole dial for 100 points with only 9 clicks. In a 1 versus 1 fight, Franklin Richards is going to destroy that dial. It's just,
man,
it's
true.
Poor Smasher. But yeah,
Franklin Richards is a little good for 65 points.
a little good.
But all right, let's jump into some listener questions here.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
I believe we had a question. Who'd the legacy card question come from, Simeon? This is content. This is good content right here. This is
Mark.
what I am. This is what you're paying for.
Mark. Discord.
Oh, gotcha. Sweet. Basically, me and Simeon are going to list off 5 characters we think should have legacy cards, and we might mention some powers, updated, whatever, or not give a reason at all. But Simeon, let's do. I don't know if you wrote them in any particular order, but worst to best, top 5 type idea.
I did
of your legacy cards for
newest
who
to oldest.
you want. Newest,
But,
oldest. Okay.
Yeah, no particular order other than that.
Sweet.
Actually, I didn't even do that quite right. So I'll go with my first one. It's from the Flash set, Midnighter. He's a rare from the Flash set. He's probably one of like the best rares in that set. There's a lot of really good really good figures in the Flash set, but he is a really cool thing. Honestly, the Flash set itself could use an overhaul because like Mirror Master, really cool. But you know who did a better job like a few years later? Loki. I don't know. All those people that like bring in alternate versions of themselves on like a special role without paying a ton of points. Mirror Master just had to pay a ton of points. But no, Midnighter, He's the one with that. He's got combat reflexes, and then he's got the ability to kind of negate the +1s that opposing characters get. But overall, just a really solid 75 points.
Right on. My first figure, I said, also a DC character. However, from World's Finest, Element Man. I really liked this Element Man. I tried to play him in a 300 competitive fashion when he came out, or maybe a year or so after he came out, because Thor was already out. But a character with outsiders, I think the biggest or the worst part about him was the 10 attack is really rough. The no willpower at the time was really rough, not so much a situation now. But he could choose attack or defense powers, and he could use the chosen power until your next turn. And if he chose both, though, you'd have to deal him an unavoidable damage. So it was a little weird. He had super senses and shape change, though, and he had giant reach, which is really cool. So I guess we'd give him giant reach 2 or 3 or something. And then when he had no action tokens, he had phasing. But I really liked this Element Man. He doesn't quite have the oomph. So I think adding a trait to give him running shot or charge or something, some move and attack besides sidestep top dial, would be really, really cool. Or even bringing him down to 75 or so points. But I really liked this Element Man. I really enjoyed playing him. So I would like to play him again and make him a little bit more better / playable.
Yeah.
But Tim, who's your fourth pick?
Yeah, I think the big thing with Legacy cards is repoint costing. It's that Midnighter, I think instead of 125, 100, yes. 175, probably fine. My second pick is from the Crisis set. It's the good old Uncle Sam Calder. So Uncle Sam.
Dude, no, that's good. That's a good pick.
140 points. A really just fun figure. It's hard to describe. Not only did I play this in our Crisis versus whichever Thursday Throwdown, this was also the cosplay.
Mutations and Monsters. You really hurt my feelings.
It was just such a blowout.
I was playing Mutations and Monsters. That was one of our closer games. What are you talking about? Blowout. Get out of here.
I lost that one.
Yeah. I don't remember if you did lose or not. But man, it was a close game. I know that for sure.
So Uncle Sam for 140 points, that point value just would not fly nowadays, of course. But he had a special attack power top dial, and then from clicks 6 through 9. And that was when Uncle Sam makes a close combat attack. It was give me your tired, your poor. When he makes a close combat attack, modify his attack value by +1 for each friendly character 4 or fewer squares away, which Uncle Sam can draw a clear line of fire, and that is marked with 1 or more action tokens. So a lot of words there, but basically he could get quite a few stacked pluses depending on how you positioned. It was just really, really good way to boost his attack value. And top dial, he's got a 10, which isn't nothing. It's not great, but it's not nothing, because he also had the move and attack, the transport boot symbol. So he could take a -8 to use, or he could take a -2 to go down to
a -8
attack. He would go down to an 8 attack, is what I meant.
Oh goodness.
With using hypersonic for 4 damage. So top dial, an 8 for 4. And then with that power, if you positioned correctly, you could get, potentially a 13 attack, because, you'd go -2 and then +5. You could potentially get a 13 because it's just max of 3. But yeah, it was fun positioning wise. He's a fun character just in general. And I think he deserves a little bit of justice. Maybe a trait that gives him some boosts. I don't really know what we'd do, but clearly we'd have to cut his points in half, because we've seen what 70 points gets us nowadays. And let's just say if you don't change his stats, that's not a 140 point dial. It's not even close.
It's not, no.
Yeah.
I think traded hypersonic speed isn't too far off, since it wouldn't want to have to explain what that speed symbol does anymore, I imagine. So you
Right.
could just give him traded hypersonic, and then he's way better. And then yeah, no, I think this is a great pick. I totally forgot about Uncle Sam. This is a good pick, Simeon. That's a Calder approved pick right there. That's a good one. My number 4 pick is DC 75th Guy Gardner. So there's tons of problems with this Guy Gardner. He has phasing top dial. This is a Red Lantern Guy Gardner. So this is like a getting down to business, supposed to be anyways. But he has like a 12 phasing top dial. Doesn't get charged until quick 2. He has exploit weakness. He has 8 range, and he has like ESD. It's just such a wonky top dial. So I would give him something like the he also has a trait which is close combat expert, but only if he has no action tokens. So I would change this trait to just be close combat expert, and then add on the trait that War of Light guy has from the LE. So that's like, what is it here? Yeah, give Guy Gardner a move action. If he ends his move adjacent to an opposing character, the move action counts as a free action instead. And then he can use Battle Fury until that character is KO'd. So I would give him a trait. I wouldn't give him Battle Fury since the red guy already gets it on dial someplace. But I'd give him the trait where it's like Close Combat Expert. When he is given a move action, if he is adjacent to an opposing character, that's a free action instead. Then he can, Close Combat Expert exploit 12 for 5, which I think would be great. And that makes his top dial phasing even better than his charge and everything. So I think that's just awesome. But then, of course, then you'd never use his charge. So I don't know. But some kind of power like that, is what I think he definitely needs. And then give him the traded Red Lantern Pen Poison ability. And then I think, make him just 100 points. I think if you do all of that, then you can just cut him down by just 10 points. And I think he'll be fine. Give him the Warrior keyword, though. I was trying to make a Guy Gardner team the other day, and they didn't have the Warrior keyword. Needs the Warrior keyword. But yeah, so mine would be 75th anniversary Guy Gardner for my 4th pick.
Nice. My next one is one of my all-time favorite figures, period, and that is Fear itself, the Serpent. I don't have a great idea of how they would be able to do this one, because the Serpent's card is one of those big fold-out booklets. He has he has the 3 dials, and then you can combine the dials in different point values. So he's got 600, 500, and 200 point dials. You can combine the 5 and 2 to make 700, the 6 and 2 to make 800, the 5 and 6 to make 1100, or all 3 of them to make 1300. And it just changes your playstyle depending on how you do it. But I think if they gave him a card where the fear dial gave boosts to your team, similar to Galactus, you could use him as a Galactus, Herald of the Serpent kind of thing, because the Serpent kind of empowered stuff behind the scenes, right? He was kind of in the background for most of Fear itself. But then also his 200 point dial and his 500 point dial, I think personally his 500 point dial would be fine as a 300 point dial. I don't think that it would be busted. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I still feel like he's going to get out actioned. Black Leopard's still going to drop him. Kobik's going to get rid of his power cosmic. I think he gets tanked at 300. I think everything kind of gets tanked unless it's just overblown stats wise. But at 200, if you reworked the point value, I think that he's an interesting piece to field. And if you changed, so at 200, all he has is a special attack power and then the fear dial. And honestly, if you give him some sort of behind the scenes trait, or I don't know, something like that, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be thematic and cool. It's a good way to give life to these older colossals that a lot of people have. And I mean, I don't know. It just seems like they've got a better purpose than I don't know, 33 point Sentinel from XDPS that's still modern.
Yeah. That's just dumb, and I hate it. While we're talking about colossals and how awful it is that Black Leopard just like nukes him. And I know this fix won't fix Colossals, but it will fix how much I hate playing against Black Leopard in general. I personally think he needs an errata. He's like, people say he's like, oh, he's a great equalizer. I'm like, no, he nerfs your entire opponent's team within 6. But your team, like, so if he's equal, it should be a 1-for-1 thing. So I think it should be like choose an opposing character than 6 squares in line of fire. Then that person can only have the max attack defense damage of Black Leopard, as opposed to every opposing character within 6 squares in line of fire.
Yeah.
That has like super bothered me. I really hate that about Black Leopard. And like seeing him across the board makes me just be like, ugh, I don't want to play against him, which is why I was so thankful I played Savage Land Magneto and was able to take him away, because I was just like, ugh, yeah, get rid of him. He's annoying. But yeah, my number 3 is, sorry for the side tangent there, but yeah.
I agree.
I hate Black Leopard. What can I say? I hate playing against him, man. Yeah, number 3 is going to be Weasel from the Deadpool set. When I was making this list, I was thinking of characters that I played a lot or like wished were better. And Weasel is just one I played a ton of. Weasel is an enhancement that modifies your attack and range values plus when he uses enhancement. And this isn't a unique modifier either. So I would use like double, occasionally triple Weasel on people to just blast them 13 for 6 or some other ridiculous combat value and inflate their ranges and whatever. And if you gave him a free action, he could re-roll the attack roll if that character missed by 1, which comes up more than you think. I mean, I think any Hero Host player knows how painful it is to miss by 1. So that Weasel is just really good. And I honestly just want a legacy card because he's a 27-point figure that does +1 range, attack, and damage value for range attacks that I love. On the same note, a WizKid legacy card I would also be fine with. However, he is a prime. He's 2 points less, which makes him, I don't know, him and Weasel can fight over who's better, but WizKid modifies, I think, all their values, whether it's close or range, and he can modify more than one character.
You mean Prime WizKid? I thought you were
Prime
talking
WizKid.
about WizKid the company.
Oh, no, not
WizKid
WizKid the company.
Yeah.
No. Prime WizKid, yeah, who just gets every adjacent friendly character, modifies attack, range, and damage +1, is also someone who I'd be cool with the legacy card, because I loved playing him. Just these super cheap 25-point mass stat modifier characters are awesome. So I love stuff like that. But Weasel was always my go-to. I always played Weasel more. I never pulled a WizKid until like way later. So I would like to see a Weasel or WizKid legacy card. They can share it, because they do relatively the same thing.
Along the same line, Skeets, the LE Skeets would be fine.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That does make me kind of think, do you think there should be a rarity cap for legacy cards? Have we seen a Chase legacy card? I guess we've seen, what is the, hang on, I've got it here. The old Casey Wonder Woman from Unleashed is a super rare unique. I don't know what that was back in 2004, if that was like a Chase rarity or close enough to it.
Right.
But yeah, do you think it should
be
capped
uniques
at super rares?
were really rare. They were 1 to 2 per like brick, right? So you only got like 1 or 2 uniques per brick. They were pretty rare. The brick was 12 boosters or whatever back then, so yeah. I don't think they should make Chase legacy cards. And if they do, maybe make them like crazy con exclusive legacy cards. People might hate that idea, I guess. That just makes it even more expensive. So maybe not. But even then, old Chases, they go for like 30 to like less, you know? Like old Chases don't go for that much. Once they're not modern, they sit at like 30 to 40 for a while if they were like really, really good. And then, you know, once they're 10 years old, it's like $15, $20 maybe, you know?
Imagine,
so
just picture the War of Light Chases getting legacy cards. What the prices.
Okay, so those Chases, those should not ever be legacy cards. Please no. Insert Michael from The Office. No, please no.
Some of these figures, even like because they've been out of, quote unquote, out of print for so long, even like the super rares are kind of
Okay.
rare now. So it's like the chases, because my next one was going to be Weapon X from Captain America set, who is a chase.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
He's
That's a
got
good
the
choice, though.
countdown dial. He's got, well, that's pretty much it. He's got the breaking out of the tank trait, which is
Yeah.
when the tank is attached, he can't be moved, placed, targeted, assigned an action, or damaged, and at the beginning of your turn, turn the dial once to the right. As long as the fluid tank is attached, any opposing character occupying an adjacent square may be given a power action to turn the dial once to the left. When click 5 is revealed, remove the fluid tank. At the beginning of your turn, if you control no other friendly characters, click Weapon X to click 5 and remove the fluid tank. So he's got this thing where for 72 points, which I think is actually kind of good still. For 72 points, he's a slow burner, like in your background. So your team is running on a 72 point deficiency, which kind of sucks. But the good news is, like, if your whole team gets tanked, if your whole team gets taken out, he instantly like pops in, which at that point you probably already lost, to be honest. But it's cool nonetheless. But he comes in with a 10 speed charge, 12 attack blades, a 3 damage battle fury, and 17 combat reflexes. I don't know. I think he's fine. I think his dial's kind of wonky, but for legacy card, I think he'd be fine.
That's not a bad dial. Like, personally, that's actually kind of still pretty good for 72 points. Maybe like the traded toughness I get would be like, and then you can keep him the same point value, honestly, you know.
But for something that, like,
that's pretty good.
The whole point of him is kind of to come in mid game. That's a great mid game dial to have all of a sudden.
Yeah, mid game. Then you got someone who's a 12 for 3. Awesome.
But if I had to pick a non-chase from Captain America, I'd go with Squirrel Girl, so that we could get a resurgence of Monkey Joe.
What a pick. What a good pick. If the Monkey Joe Realmser guy listens to this show, I mean, he sure might. I don't know. Probably not. But he'd be like, yeah, that's the dream right there, man. You finally said it. You finally realized the dream I've had all these years. To get a legacy, specifically for this Squirrel Girl. Because the other one, she just makes Squirrel Pogs. He specifically wants that Monkey Joe Pog to be doing that good stuff. And since the Pog itself is just Monkey Joe on a tree stump, they could change the stats on Monkey Joe and make Monkey Joe better, you know? So,
yeah,
that
without
would be
any
beautiful.
work. Because, like, the dial has information, but... Yeah, that bystander would be the easiest part to change because there is no dial to the bystander.
Oh, yeah.
No, I know Monkey Joe is still active because he took part in the Heroclix for Huntington's event. I don't know who it is. I honestly don't care that much. And that's not like a dig at him. I just...
Dang, bro. If he did listen, he doesn't anymore. Dang,
no,
we just lost Monkey Joe. Hi, HC Realmser, high profile listener. We just lost. Dang.
I was just saying
Curse you, Bruce.
It was always cool to see the back in the day, seeing like the little ticker on his signature slowly like click up every so often. Like I wouldn't see him for a few months and then I'd see him and it'd be like Monkey Joe KOs went up by 1 and I'd be like, oh, hot dang. He did it again. But no, it's like it's fine. The anonymity that he has in my life is perfectly fine with me. I'm willing to live with that for the rest of forever if need be. If he wants to contact me and be like, "Hey, my name's Greg. I'm a pianist in Melbourne." I'll be like, "Cool."
I'll stop.
I don't play any instrument, and he'll be like, "Yeah, okay." And that'll be... See, that's why the anonymity is cool, because then I don't have this, like... Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Okay. Next up, my number 2 pick here is also a Great Lake Avenger from the Captain America set. However, it is not Squirrel Girl. It is Mr. Immortal. Loved playing this figure. I played it a lot. However, dying is what he's supposed to do best. I think he could die a little easier. In my opinion, being 6 clicks long, and having regen on his last 3 clicks. I want dying to be like all this guy does. So sadly, I would want him to like be like 4 or 3 clicks long. But if we can't change it on a legacy card, I understand, whatever. But having an ability, and I don't mean this to offend anyone, but give him the ability to KO himself, because he would do that in comics. He kept that fang on him, as the kids say. If he ever had to just do a little reset, get into a better strategic position. So yeah, like, and I want when he comes back to life, I want him to be. They gave him Battle Fury, which is what he should have, because he's just mad. But he's almost like enters like Hulkmania or something. He's like invincible mad, He's like, yeah, you can't be like touched, you can't be hurt, and he's just like swinging. So his stats shouldn't be bad on the down dial. They should get like better, and he should be like charge. Like the turn he comes back, give him charge, flurry, something to modify his damage, blades. I don't know, I don't care. But like give him something where it's like boom, he's back to life, and he's pissed and he's swinging, and make him less than 46 points. Maybe if you make him better, you don't have to make him less than that, but still, I want him, and he goes to click 9 and he takes a few turns to get him back. I think maybe make it click 8 instead, make him come back to life a little faster. But dude, yeah, I want, and because we didn't get a remake of him, like we got a remake of Squirrel Girl in 2015, so I'm dying for a new Mr. Immortal. I honestly, if they could give us a full Great Lakes Avengers sub theme, that would be dope. But yeah, that's my number 2 pick.
Big Bertha dinosaur. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, man.
That's one I didn't. I guess I didn't.
Just a fun team.
Big Bertha from Wolverine and the X-Men. WizKids, you recreated almost all of Wolverine and the X-Men for X-Men Rise and Fall.
He did.
It's not a knock. You just straight up did. That's a fact. But you left out Big Bertha. Huh. Kind of tells a lot about the kind of people that designed that set, I guess.
Body shaming that's happening at WizKids.
Doesn't really say anything, but...
it's funny that both Flatman and Big Bertha are in the same set, because they're two like extremes,
Yeah.
Pretty funny. Never thought of that before.
Flatman and what was it?
All right,
Doorman. The guy who
yeah, dude, Doorman was great.
Good.
People can walk through him. He can make other people phase through him.
Is that literally his power? I thought he was just like weird.
Yeah, it's what he does.
Oh, okay. I thought he was like weird springy.
He doesn't make doors.
Snake spy man.
He himself
he is
a door.
Wow.
He is a door.
You make a better door than a window.
They actually there's a West Coast Avengers comic. This is an awesome Great Lakes tangent we're going on, but there's a West Coast Avengers comic. That's how the JLA got their start. They would just appear in West Coast comics. And it's like there's a bank robbery happening or something, or there's a fire or like whatever. And they're like, all right, team, go. And Doorman, boom, makes a door. Mr. Immortal jumps in, gets shot right away, dies, whatever. The rest of the team barge in, take care of that. Mr. Immortal comes back to life. And then they just leave. The teamwork is amazing in this, like in their first appearance in like the West Coast Avengers. But then they just sort of slowly turn into more and more of a joke, and then every subsequent appearance they have as a team is they're just worse and they're more of a joke, which is fine. But like their first appearance, they were teamwork up the wazoo, man. They were awesome. So it was impressive. I'm not doing it justice with this recap, but they were great. But sorry, Simeon, what's your next pick?
Pick up that issue. So my next and final, my final pick.
Yeah, number 1.
And this is one that I thought for sure Wonder Woman set would remake. For sure this would get a legacy card for Wonder Woman set, because it's been deserving a new figure for a long, long time in DC. And I mean, I get Wonder Woman 80th. They went with all Wonder Woman from throughout like the ages. It's fine. It's cool. But Legacy Ares for 275 points. This is another one that I played in Thursday Throwdown when it's why it comes to mind so easily. But starting 14 attack goes down to a 13 and then a 12 on click 4. So he's got a super stacked top dial. And then on click 3, he gets Close Combat Expert, so he's back up to a 14 for 5 with Charge and Super Strength. The only thing that I don't like about this guy, that I didn't used to like about him, and I still kind of don't, so he didn't have any willpower or indom, which doesn't matter now.
Right.
But he starts with phasing, which he does have 8 range, so phasing isn't like the worst, but man, it's not the best. He's got mystics, but he's got no power cosmic, or I guess cosmic energy. But also for 275 points, you just need a lot more. His defense values go from a 19 on click 1 down to a 15 by click 7, and then a 14 on clicks 9 and 10. So once he gets like the big hit, once he takes a big like psychic blast, he's going down real quick. He's not getting a lot better. I do like his mid clicks where he's got Flurry, 12 attack with Close Combat Expert, and 4 damage. So he's rocking 13s for 5 with Flurry. Pretty solid. But yeah, I don't know. I just think you could kind of keep the stats the same, maybe rework the dial, maybe like work a stop click in somewhere, somehow, or like a reduction of penetrating damage. I don't know. He's a god of war. Give him some oomph for 275 points. Or alternatively, for this exact same dial, I will accept if you make a legacy card and he only costs 75 points. I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
You think it's a 75-point dial?
Honestly, kind of. Have you seen what 75 points gets you in the comment? The
I mean, I get it, but he's still a 19 impervious, Simeon. He's got a 14 attack.
Yeah,
you think you could take away 200 points of this guy's dial?
I absolutely think that's fair.
He's a 5 damage, 14 attack.
Let's play a modern game.
Points.
I'll let you play this guy for 75 points with whatever else you want, and I'll play a modern 300-point game and see if I can just completely shut him down in one turn.
Okay.
75
I
is
don't
good.
know. I don't know about this one, man. Oh gosh, dude.
It's not as bad as the Avengers Ares for also 275 points. Way worse for,
Oh yeah. Marvel Ares for 275. He at least has move and attack.
Oh, that's true. He does have that running shot super strength combo I love. So
he'll get the first attack off on the other Ares for sure, right? And he's a 13. He only needs a 6 to hit, but it's whether or not he biffs the impervious roll. And he'll take a mystic, right? This hypothetical is bad. But he still has running shot even after the mystic. And then Ares gets charged.
Assuming the other
Ares takes 5, excuse me. He takes 3.
Misses his impervious. Let's see. So he's hitting for 5. He's going 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Now you're close to me, and I've got Flurry with Combat Expert, 12 for 5. But
is he close to you? Is he? Because he's got running shot, unless you phase up right away.
That's true.
Because he's got running shot. So unless this Ares faces up right away, but I don't see him. He faces out 12. This guy will running shot and hit him. He's got a 13 square reach. I don't. I think this Ares beats that Ares in a head-to-head battle, unless
he does.
What's the last 25 points of the build?
I don't know. If we make them both 75 points, which one wins?
It shouldn't be 75 points. I'm going to stop you right there. First of all, they shouldn't be 75 points.
Now that Avengers Ares, so maybe you're right, because that Avengers Ares would be kind of gross at 75 points. I will say
okay,
that.
Thank you for giving me that one.
Might be correct.
Who you thought was worse, by the way.
Yeah, he might be better than the Legacy one.
Maybe, huh? Maybe.
Yeah. He got torn in half by the Sentry.
That is true. My number one pick. This is a character. This is one of the first Captain America figures I got after a long time, and I didn't realize it at the time, but as time kept going on and going by, he's just so bad. He's so terrible. And I'm talking about the Captain America from the Avengers versus X-Men starter set. Man, here's all I would do to fix this guy. So he's 200 or 100 points, and this isn't as big of a change as the Ares we were just discussing, but he's got 8 clicks for 200 points. He has running shot, 11 attack, 4 damage, 18 impervious. His special attack power is incapacitate, as if he had 2 targets, which is so bad. He can give one hit target 2 action tokens instead of giving them each one. If he does, he can give the second one. And if that character can't be given a second action token, you deal it 1 penetrating damage. But he's got 5 range. This is your 200 point figure, who is running shot, 5 range, 4 damage with this special in-cap power. It's so bad. I would make the power not incapacitate and make it the Captain America Winter Soldier shield bouncy power instead, or some shield bouncy power, and then I would make him 100 or 50 points. I personally think his 200 point line is a 100 point line nowadays. Personally, just looking at the 85 point Captain America from this latest set with Living Legend, who has the same trait, or not even the same trait, but whatever. The one before him at 95 points has the same trait. We can choose combat reflexes or ESD. I think 100 or 50 points for this AVX Captain America, and then you'd make that special attack power a shield bouncy power instead of incapacitate. I think he's great, and I think he's awesome. I genuinely think that's like the perfectest way to fix this dude. But yeah,
that seems fair. Although AVX in total, I think, was some real high-costed dials.
Oh yeah, there were some bloated dials in AVX.
The Professor X, I can't even remember.
Yeah, for 150.
Yeah, he was like 150, and he's like, yeah, my defense, special mastermind. Also, I can mind control.
When your legs work like they used to before. Yeah.
Although I say that, and I used to run the Avengers Assemble Red Skull all the time at 150.
200. That's insane.
200, not even 150.
Yeah, that one I was like, man, was this ever worth 200 points?
No.
Like, really?
But I still played the heck out of it because it was just a lot of fun. Also, he had the best part about his mind control was when he uses it, he isn't dealt damage from it after actions resolve. Wow. No feedback.
So glad
damage.
They did that. So happy.
It's crazy because WizKids really lays their cards out with how they spell out powers. So it was for quite a while they did a lot of mind control, you aren't dealt feedback damage after using it kind of things. And then 2017 rules rolled around and that just was the way it was now. And then from 2017 on, we saw a lot of powers that were saying perplex, but not to target damage. And then 2021 rules came out, and that's just how it is now. So yeah, interesting.
Can we? Do you think this is the trend? This is it. The way they modify the powers, maybe that's just how the power should just work.
I think if you start seeing a special power where that becomes super senses on a 4 through 6, if that was way more prevalent, which clearly it won't be, that's not going to be the case with Wonder Woman team ability now, but
right. I hope not. Yeah,
if that was that's, I don't know, but things like that, because there was a lot of characters that dealt penetrating damage without it being a special, or without it being a power. It was just traded deals penetrating damage or something like that. And now you can do it combos with mind control now, but it also did pre-rules change in 2021. So I don't know. There's a few instances, and maybe I'm just reading into nothing. It's possible.
Yeah. You are. Speaking of reading into nothing, now we're going to go ahead and answer some listener questions from superfan Chance McCall. He's got 5 sets of questions here. They're all pretty fun. What are 5 figures outside of the standard Justice League Avengers that you'd like to see always be modern in some form? Just
5 sets of
rattle off your
questions,
5 here, Simeon.
2 sets of hair.
We start off. That's
It looks cool.
that is the mullet comments were a chance just showed that he has business in the front and of course party in the back right now. He showed that off on our Discord, which is pretty funny.
Yes. So question 1 was, what are 5 figures outside of the standard JL and Avengers you'd like to see always be in modern? I went with all villains, so it's villains that I like to see, and I don't think we see often enough. Some of these we've seen recently, but recently doesn't mean like they're common. So number 1 was Red Skull. He's just a really interesting villain. He's always got like machinations within machinations kind of thing. Him with the Tesseract or the Cosmic Cube, if you want to go by comic words. That's probably like my standard Red Skull. The Red Skull that took Xavier's brain was fine, but we've gotten really like the only 2 versions of that we can ever get. My next character was Captain Cold. I'd really like to see like a Captain Cold made that felt like it could actually take on the Flash, or at least form a team that took on with like the Flash. Maybe get some of those. So we got the Wizard from the Future Foundation set that can form the. Was it? No, that was Fantastic Four set. The Wizard from the Fantastic Four set that can make the new Frightful Four. It'd be cool if we had some like captains, like Captain Cold, some rogues that could do that. I guess
Ooh, that would be
Magneto
cool.
is technically like a villainous version of himself.
But like still, like the actual Flash rogues, you mean? That would be really cool.
Yeah. It'd be cool to have that option. And then Darkseid.
I like it.
Darkseid. I don't know why I said Darkseid. Darkseid. But really more, because we got a Darkseid recently, I'd really like to get more of the other Apocalypse people. So Calabac, what is it? Granny Goodness, Steppenwolf, like a lot of the ones that we haven't had since Superman, Wonder Woman. I think we got some in there. But the ones that we haven't had in quite a while, like, I don't know, like those are some really big DC villains that can hold their own against some really big DC heroes. And we just don't get them. And in lieu of those, we have like 1,200 Jokers. And, I do like the Riddler, though. And then also I said Ultron. We just got one in the Captain America set, but prior to that, it wasn't until the Age of Ultron set.
Age of Ultron, yikes.
And
so it was 5 years.
Yeah, quite a decent amount of time in between. And then Loki. Loki we kind of get sparingly, but he just has, they use him for quite a bit in comics, and he just has so many options, so many point costs and dials that we could go with. I feel like his mind control, shape change, super sense, mystics kind of stuff is like, it's been overused, and I think we can figure something else out, something that like makes more sense for him.
I want a shifting focus Loki. Kid Loki, Lady Loki, Loki, more Masters of Evil style Loki versus a more, whatever style Loki. If he's someone who has had changing viewpoints and focus and power sets, it's Loki. And I think he'd be great for a shifting focus. Now, maybe if his TV show is better, he'd actually deserve a shifting focus. But until that happens, we'll see. We'll see. But I do think Loki would be a good shifting focus character.
Is this the ultimate power
is that all
in the
your
universe? That was all 5 of mine, yes.
Okay. Speaking of Loki and the Cosmic Cube, I was talking with somebody about it the other day, and I was like, so yeah, when the Avengers got the Cosmic Cube, and they were like, what's that? I'm like, Cosmic Cube? It's like, yeah, like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the Tesseract? And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, I feel
Wow.
so old. I didn't
Wow.
old, but just like the fact that they knew it
Yeah.
as the Tesseract, not the Cosmic Cube. I was like, oh, it hurt. It hurt me. It hurt me a little bit.
It really, yeah.
Anyways,
It was kind of bad when
yeah,
they
dude.
just reduced it to a Infinity Stone. I mean,
That also hurt too. Come on, man.
I feel like
Crush
like
the Cosmic Cube to be the Space Stone.
Thanos just crushes it into
disrespect.
dust and is like, "Oh, I just need this pebble that's inside of it." But I was like, I feel like the Cosmic
Yeah.
Cube is more powerful than a single Infinity Stone, not the entire Infinity
Right,
Gauntlet,
because
but a
it
single
was-
one for sure.
He's like the power in the first Captain America movie. It was the main focus of the first Avengers movie. You know, like as far as Infinity Stones go, it had the most focus on it being a powerful Infinity Stone. The Power Gem, the Time Gem would be really the only Infinity Stones that had this big focus on them for they themselves being purely super powerful. And even then, I still feel like the Tesseract got way more beef for being powerful than any other Infinity Stone. It's certainly reality and like soul and visions, right? Like those were all like meh Infinity Stones compared to like how beefy Tesseract was. But
Yeah.
anyways, my top 5 characters I think should always have some form of them in modern. Howard the Duck, he's just a fan favorite of mine. Really, really enjoy him. I think we can always have a goofy, fun Howard the Duck in modern. Guy Gardner, once again, most of my favorite characters are normally in modern because they're popular. So like Lex Luthor, Captain America, the Punisher, War Machine. Those characters are normally always modern because they're popular and they get made, you know? Guy Gardner doesn't get made a lot of the time, and I, have to go through these droughts of not playing Guy Gardner, which really sucks. So I'd always like a modern guy. Squirrel Girl, to go with Simeon's legacy card type deal. Squirrel Girl's a really, really fun character. I really enjoy her. She's always been a fun Heroclix. She always is a Pog generator, which is always fun to play. So I'd always like a modern Squirrel Girl. And then these last two, they go hand in hand, but a Hydra generic and a Shield generic, I think should always be modern. No ifs, ands, or buts. I think Hydra and Shield should always have some generic that's modern. So there's no classic Hydra generic, like green suit, yellow H guy that's modern, but we do have the spies, the industrial spies, and then for another month-ish, we have the Hydra Earth X generics, but we're going to be out, normal. I mean, and we technically have the AIM guys, but those are more AIM/Avengers than they are Hydra at all. But like, we're going to be out of a classical Hydra generic until we get another one. But we have really good Shield generics right now, which I'm thankful for. But yeah, I think we should always have a Hydra and Shield generic in modern. I just think that's, they work off each other. We'll always have characters with the Shield keyword for sure in modern. It's give or take if we'll get an Avengers. I mean, we're going to get an Avengers set, that's no doubt. But Captain America or more Hydra themed set. So it's kind of iffy whether or not we'll have a bunch of Hydra characters in modern. But I do think we should always have those generics to fill out those keywords. Just because and there's no classic rivalry in Marvel that spans the decades that Hydra versus Shield does, and I heavily enjoy that. The next question Chance had was, if you had to make custom dials of each other, what would they look like? I went on HC Realms. I made a custom Simeon Bruce dial. Simeon, why don't you start us off with your custom dial here?
Oh yeah.
And I might upload these to Patreon or take a screenshot or something and upload these to Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, I'll have to actually dial mine out. All I did was type this.
Oh, can I also preface this with saying, this is almost like an art project where you get to see how me and Simeon would design dials. So this is also really interesting to what mechanics we would use for each other. So I'm very curious.
I didn't do a ton of I didn't try and make it like super modern. I just kind of went with what felt right, which I feel like is how WizKids design. So why not? So I made Kalder 75 points. Seems a little bit stout, but I feel like it's fair. I gave him 6 range because, I don't know, he could throw things if he wanted to. 6 range doesn't seem too far. So click 1. What does click 1 Calder look like? Well, he's got 7 speed charge. And that charge is called Howdy Howdy, Let's Get Rowdy. He's coming in.
Very nice. That's good.
It's only 4 squares that you can move, but I feel like that's, I don't know, that seems like human average-ish. I gave him 10 attack blades, and the blades is called I Made This Knife Myself. I couldn't remember the dude that you went to make it.
Oh,
but,
Joe Smith. But yeah.
Joe Smith, the blacksmith. I gave him a 16 defense toughness, and I called that power, they don't call these ranch hands for nothing. I don't know why. They don't call these ranch hands for nothing. And then I gave him 2 damage for that first click.
Okay.
Now here's where it gets interesting, Calder. So bear with me. 6 range, 75 points.
Okay.
What could you possibly do on click 2? Well, on click 2, Calder's got 10 speed sidestep.
Ooh.
The power is called, flavor text is Into Formation. It's got 12 attack, Precision Strike. Okay. Power's called Shield Bash. 18 defense, combat reflexes, and then 3 damage with a special damage power called The Many Cosplays of Calder. And that special damage power gives him Stop Toughness. When this click is first revealed, Calder has immune until your next turn. So, the Red Sun Lex for 50 points has 2 stop clicks. So this one's got 3. So the next one, that of course, first one was Cap. Second click, or second stop click. This is click 3, has the same 10 speed, but with running shot, called The Best Lantern. 12 attack, Psychic Blast, called Let Me Point You in the Right Direction. I think I was going because you have like the finger thing.
Oh yeah,
the hand,
the finger gun. Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't think of great. I don't know Guy Gardner very well, so I couldn't think of like some great powers.
Okay.
And then 18 defense again with ESD this time, and it's called It's All in the Ring, which is fine.
Nice.
Yeah. And then 4 damage on this Guy Gardner with a special damage power. And then click 4. Calder, can you guess what I might have gone with for click 4?
I'm gonna assume it's Ash Williams would be another prominent cosplay, or the comedian is what I would think.
Okay.
Okay.
Got 8 speed with a special.
Okay.
It's a special speed power, plasticity, charge, and improved movement characters. And then it's also got added into this, and this is because I have used as many special powers as possible on this figure, so I can't redo some of them. But not only does it have plasticity, charge, and improved movement characters, also outwit, but only to target characters hit or moved through this turn.
Interesting.
The flavor text for this one is called Next You'll Say ... And then it's got a 11 attack with a special attack power. This is the first time I've used a special attack power. So it's Flurry and Precision Strike. And the flavor text for this is Hamon and Friendship. And then
that's awesome. All right.
And then it's got a 19 defense with it's a special defense power that is super senses, but on a 4 through 6. And I just could not. I was going to do something like AC/DC. I don't know. Like I tricked him, or I don't know, something like that.
That's a good Joseph, man. That's awesome.
And then that same special damage power, which of course is just the stop click with once again it's stop, toughness, And then when this click is first revealed, Calder has immune until the next turn. So for this last click, I think I gave him 3 damage. So got a little damage boost on Guy, but I think he's probably the one that would pump out the most damage. So
after hearing that, and by the way, that's awesome. That's like really amazing, dude. I love the creativity and everything in it. That's so dope. I feel a little bad about about my Simeon dial. I feel like a jerk. Dang.
Oh,
I didn't expect to go so hard.
That's fine.
I think it's still. I think it's still funny. So Simeon, you can be played at 40 or 20 points, and again,
Okay,
I'm so sorry.
I like this
I'm
so
so
far.
sorry.
So far, not too bad.
You have a trait. Which is you could say I do this a lot. It's leap climb. When Simeon uses it and moves from a higher elevation to a lower elevation, this is a free action instead. So you can
Okay.
basically free action move anytime, anywhere on your dial with leap climb, as long as it's from a higher to lower. I imagine rappelling is easier than climbing itself. I was originally going to do something where it's like, I really use my arms for this more than anything, and it's like you would use your attack value instead of movement for moving or something, but I thought this was all right. You have a special defense power. Oh, okay. See, your first 2 clicks are like super regular, like Simeon, and then you have a red line after click 2. So you're KO'd if you're 20 points after click 2. But if you're 40 points, you keep turning the dial. But your special defense power for your first 2 clicks here is rolling for willpower before it was cool. Willpower super senses. When Simeon Bruce succeeds on his willpower roll this turn, he succeeds on a 3 through 6 for super senses this turn. Which I thought, because that's how you used roll for willpower.
Right. Yeah, when I
you
rolled for
like,
willpower,
you use
it was
roll for
always like
willpower.
as a reducer or as like some sort of damage avoidance. I didn't actually use it as like the new WizKids way, but yes,
Right.
that makes a lot of sense.
Also, you have Perplex on your first 2 clicks, which is Sculpt Swap, because I think that's like the most creative power, I guess. Making things to me is like a Perplex power without it being like a making objects type special power or something. And then I did give you the X-Men team ability, and then the X-Men and X-Force keywords, so you could be played with the Wolverine X-23 duo. I thought that was like definitely a necessary ability. But your last 2 clicks here, you have a special attack power called Extreme Rules, a Natterday in each hand, which is Stop Flurry. These next few clicks, you go from like a 7 speed, 9 attack, 1 damage on your like regular Simeon clicks, and I give you like 16 defense with the special like Super Senses willpower, to a 9 speed charge, 8 speed charge, 11 attack on these clicks, 17 defense, mastermind, 3 damage, close combat expert. So you have your charge is chick challenge. On charge, of course, the Natterday in each hand is your special attack, which is 2 stop clicks, and I feel bad I didn't give you 3 stop clicks now. And then
Well, I'm cheaper,
mastermind
so
is simply put inner circle, and then close combat expert. So you're 12 for 4, which maybe I think that's for modern 40 points. Starting off as a little perplexer and then getting hit to that, I think that's fair. But you'll have a final DDT for close combat expert. So your charge flurry 12 for 4 on these last clicks with just mastermind to protect you, but with double stop clicks, I think it's pretty good. But yeah, that is my Simeon, who then turns into the billion clicks Bruce revealed type dial.
I like it.
I'm wishing I would have.
I like the mastermind.
Yeah.
Because I've got a lot of minions. Yeah.
Yeah. See, now I want to like. That was so good. Yeah. See, we both sort of made similar dials. You added way more personas. I was like, we gotta do the Billy and Clicks Bruce. I wanted to put in normal Simeon as well, but that was good, man. I'm impressed. I wish I wouldn't have made you 20 and 40 points. I feel a little bad, but yeah. Chance, let us know, guys, what you thought of these dials. We might change them up. Might add to them. Honestly, I wanted to give you Smoke Cloud, like as free. Like, hey Calder, check out this cool trick I learned, and then give you like free action Smoke Cloud. But I forgot to add it to the final. For like a vape trick or something. Because you had made that one like joke where it's like, actually, before every podcast, I show Calder my new vape tricks I've learned for
vape
an hour.
of the week or whatever. Yes.
The vape trick of the week, yeah.
This one's called Tornado Spin.
But all right.
No, we could actually, with that HC Realms dial, well, not dial, but I guess there is the dial maker on HC Realms, but there's the modern card maker. Between that and, what is it, Hero Forge? That 3D, like...
Ooh, yeah, Hero Forge, yeah.
We could actually make these like a real thing at some point in the future.
That would be fun. Yeah.
I'm tempted.
That'd be dope. Dude, so am I. And honestly, if we did like a purely like Simeon, purely Calder, and then a different one where if I remade your dial, I'd make it different. And then we did a purely Ranch Hand, purely Billion Clicks. That would be really cool. And then maybe the personas of Thursday Throwdowns as like a Crazy Jane dial would also be really cool. Like we could make like the dial H verse.
It'd be like
dial verse.
If we
like
did the
starter set to gravity feed set.
The Thursday Throwdown end up looking like the Rick Jones, where he like spits out the three bystanders kind of thing. I don't know. There's a lot of fun stuff in there. We could find something. There's for sure.
For sure, and like for anybody that like guessed it on the show, it's like when Happy Little Heroclix was on and he had like the kill Google, that would be really funny, as like a chase figure or something, and he's like 50 points, but he has the stats of like the Serpent for one click or something, and he just like has the chase whatever the Google assistant telling him who to fight. That would be great too. Yeah, we're gonna make one of those threads we normally do a threaded redemption on, but it's the Dial H universe set, the Dial H set. Oof, man. All right, awesome. Next up, that was his peak best question, by the way, but let's keep going. Number 3, Chance asks, should online tournaments continue? Simeon, what do you think?
I said, yeah, I guess. Once in-person play starts up again, I will probably go back to what I did in like 2019, and that is almost never participate in online tournaments. I'm glad that they exist because it helps the international community. It helps anyone that can't drive to get to tournaments. And it's great practice for the people that want that. But personally, if there's other options, I am going to take the other options almost always. I just really don't care for online play.
I'll concur with Simeon here. Basically, I just wrote down like sure. So same thing. I don't like doing it. I'm glad that other people do it, so that way they can actually play for whatever their situation is. But yeah, sure. Number 4. What is your method of finally deciding to let a piece go from your childhood? From your childhood. Gosh, from your collection. Goodness gracious. No, it's collection.
Calder's projecting on this question. Letting go from my childhood. It's like, did I write it down wrong?
No.
So for me, it comes down to a couple things. If the price of the figure is outpacing how much I actually want it, so if like the figure is going for some ridiculous amount where I'm like, oh man, I would never buy it for that. That is ridiculous. Sometimes that'll push me to sell it. That's usually the best time to sell it when I have that thought, because it always goes down at some point. If the price is more than how much I can justify holding on to it, so if it's, if I've got like two Jason Wingard's, and he's priced at like $75. And I'm like, I'll probably only ever play one. Selling one's fine, you know.
Yeah.
That's usually what ends up doing it. And then if for the non-competitive play kind of stuff, if a better version comes along, or if it's just a piece that I never got around to playing, I collected a bunch of the Oni Hulks and Oni Leader, and I played that team exactly one time, and I went against a lot of protected outwit, and the whole idea behind that team is I can outwit a bunch, and so it was just real trash. And after I played it that one time, I was like, man, this is kind of overcosted point-wise, and so I still have them, but it's stuff like that is why I get rid of parts of my collection, or if it's like a set. So if I was buying heavily into X-Men Rise and Fall, a good set to get rid of, to get rid of like a bulk of like the set would have been Wolverine and the X-Men, because X-Men Rise and Fall is almost a 1-for-1 recreation. Not quite, but we've got a worse Multiple Man. Well, he might not be worse, actually. He's cheaper. But we've got a worse Smasher. We've got a Skinless Man with no... as far as I know... No, yeah, we have the full set list. So we have a Skinless Man, but we don't have Jean-Pierre. What's his name? Phantom X. So yeah, no new Phantom X. So also the chases. Wouldn't you rather have the Phoenix 5 again than these weird Warp World people? I don't know. I think Wolverine and the X-Men's just a better set. But yeah, if it's a set like that, just like my Amazing Spider-Man set is pretty much all null and void at this point. So the only thing I still have from that set is Frankencastle, werewolves, vampires, that kind of stuff. And then like the chase set. There's so much of it that has been recreated ad nauseum that I really don't need that full set anymore. And I don't have it anymore, I guess I should say.
Gotcha. You gotta have that Frankencastle to recreate the greatest moment, the greatest Dakin story ever made. When he just like murders the Punisher. Sure. I basically get rid of a figure when number one, is it Golden Age, and will I use it again? So if it's like Captain America or something related to Captain America, I'll probably keep it. Same thing with like skeletons or whatever. Like if it's something I really enjoy. Mostly if it's like a 300 modern competitive thing, then that's when I decide, now that it's golden, I probably won't use it that much anymore. So then I'll start being like, well, what's the easiest way to sell it? And this is another big thing, is like, how many people do I have to interact with in order to sell this Golden Age figure? Which is my go-to has always been check out Cool Stuff Inc. and what they'll pay for a figure. Like I had Groot, for example. Groot, awesome Colossal and AI. Made a ton of my teams while he was legal. He was 25 or 20 point leadership, made the 2 Walking Wood Pogs, which were super duper helpful. And he was a solid retail, whatever, 11 for 3, make a Walking Wood as he retailed. Like he was a good retail. But I'm like, he's not modern anymore, so I'm going to sell him. Cool Stuff Inc., like $30 for him. I'm like, you know what? That's pretty darn good for him being golden. And I don't have to talk with anybody or deal with anybody. Yeah, I'll sell him. $30 easy. So that's pretty much all it is when I decide to sell something. Like, can I bulk sell it with a bunch of other stuff that I need to get rid of? Can I just bulk sell it to Cool Stuff, make the whole process like way easier, and boom, bada bing, bada boom, there it is. And this next one is what are some old school Heroclix that have gotten better with the rules changes, the way the rules are currently?
So anything that would have taken pushing damage, clearly, like, so that Legacy Ares, while it's still not great, now that it doesn't take pushing damage, honestly, maybe that's a bad thing, because it would have been able to push onto a better click. But the fact that most older characters, as seen in Thursday Throwdown, the fact where a character that didn't have Indom or willpower can now take 2 actions makes a huge difference in its playability. Anything with a solid mind control combo, in my opinion, is real good. And then anything that can reduce penetrating damage, because that's the big kicker nowadays. Outwit and pen damage are way bigger than pulse wave, so those are really like the only 2 things you have to worry about as far as like a big tank character goes.
Yeah, I got you, my man. I put down basically the same answer. Like characters that really needed willpower or some form of indom. Specifically, I had Age of Ultron War Machine. He was one of the big ones. He was 200 points. He's still not worth 200 points, but like no willpower, just like sucked. And for some reason, Wizkids didn't like to give War Machine willpower for the longest time, or Indom, which is so weird. Disrespecting my man James Rhodes. And then I wrote down all the Green Lantern Corps from War of Light get better, because instead of having some clicks where they have willpower, they now have Indom their whole dial, and then they also have the added bonus of having willpower. So this
And
also
they
just
can
goes
carry
kind of with
other flyers.
anyone that already... And they can carry other flyers. So yeah, I think the Green Lantern Corps as a whole just got way better. And that also makes the crossbow and the boxing glove, close combat expert, range combat expert constructs, made them a lot better as well. So yeah, the Green Lantern Corps from War of Light get huge bonuses, in my opinion, as well as, of course, the Green Lantern battery and everything, because that gives out willpower now, and that's a sweet roll. So absolutely. And that is all of Chance's questions. Before we end the week, I'm not going to read the full email, but I do want to say thank you to Joel for sending us an email. He wrote a really awesome email about just the podcast and the content and how he enjoys listening to it and how it helped him, with everything last year and everything. And that's kind of was our main goal with Thursday Throwdown, was because Simeon wasn't playing Heroclix in person when he normally would that night anyways, and I wasn't playing Heroclix in person anyways. We were just like, hey, we're going to film games, have a fun time. So I'm really happy that like our podcast and our content was able to do that. And Joel just wrote us a really awesome email, and I just want to say, thank you so much, man. Yeah, it meant a lot. So I'm really glad that you're enjoying the content we're making, and hearing, words like this really makes us want to go out and strive more to just be, we're already really creative and I think really fun with the content, but it makes us want to be more creative and make more content, and stuff like this is just awesome. So
Yeah.
really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that the only reason I do this is for the listeners and the fans and stuff like that, because honestly, it's just this is really fun to do. It's really fun to make content, regardless of whether or not people like it. I mean, clearly, we're not even monetized on YouTube, and we still put a lot of effort into that stuff. So we'd be doing it regardless.
Yeah.
We are doing it regardless. But messages like this really make it a lot more worth it. A lot more times, like when I do, like hot ones, and my mind gets burned out of my brain. It's nice to know that, like, it's nice to get comments and stuff like that, responses that make me feel like we're not just providing content, but we're providing like a community almost.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that is the show, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to write us an email or send us questions, you can do so on Facebook or Twitter. Dial H for Heroclix. On Twitter, it's the number 4 instead of FORE. Our Gmail is dialh4heroclix@gmail.com, all spelt out. If you want to show us some financial support, you can do so at patreon.com. We have some tiers there on the main page. You get stickers, action tokens, all sorts of really fun stuff, as well as your donation. No matter what level you donate to, you'll be on our Discord, which is just really fun. We're playing Bad Samaritan pretty much every weekend, and then you'll compete for prizes in Bad Samaritan, which will be simple things like getting an extra action token with your action tokens, or a few extra raffle entries or something. at the end of the month. So playing some Bad Samaritan. Might even do some Dial H trivia in the future. Maybe. Because I enjoyed doing that on the show. So I would enjoy doing that also on Patreon. So anyways, you can do that, guys. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you heard me and Simeon mention Thursday Throwdown throughout the video, Hot Ones, all that stuff. If you want to watch two guys eat hot wings and play Heroclix and make terrible gameplay mistakes and all that fun stuff while just absolutely having their minds being melted by hot wings, check out our YouTube channel and look up our Hot Ones video. We do the Golden Age games like Thursday Throwdown, where people vote for the figures on our team, and we play 2 Golden Age, and now we're into Modern, but sets against each other. We've played every single main booster Heroclix set, like, ever, so definitely check out those videos. But yeah, guys, that is all of our content, all of our plugs. Simeon?
Yeah, so with that, it's not quite all of our plugs, because we have one left.
That's true.
Dial H for Heroclix is brought to you in part by CoolStuffInc.com. I don't know, in part they sponsor us. I don't know. They're our sponsor. You can use code DIAL5 to get 5% off of every checkout. If your discount code is higher than that, then you'll get whatever the highest discount is. But until you get higher than 5%, use code DIAL5. And check them out. They've got cool stuff in stock every day, including the latest Heroclix singles and sealed products. And I'll definitely be checking them out for X-Men Rise and Fall, because singles is the only way I'm going to go on this. Unless they drop.
And as always,
that thing.
Oh, jeez.
The Master Mold. Unless they drop Master Mold. Then I'll be real sad and real mad. But I'll get a case.
Oh, you mean as a buy it by the case?
Yeah. I really don't want them to. I really hope they don't.
I don't want them either. That would be rough, because I would instantly buy a case probably too. If it, like, well, who else would be it besides Master Mold? I guess Cosmic Ghost Rider and Thanos, but they aren't X-Men related, so they probably wouldn't use them, right? So I think they've got to be skipping buy it by the case. If it was Lilandra and Master Mold, I don't. There would be. Dude,
can you imagine buying a case of X-Men Rise and Fall, and your case, your buy it by the case incentive comes to you, and it's Lilandra?
Not even worth the $5 it costs to get it shipped to you, dude. Not worth the time to cut off the UPCs. That would be disgusting. Ugh. I don't even want to think about it. That's so gross. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, happy trails.
So if you're looking for emotional satisfaction, my advice to you is seek professional
Heroclix?
No.
Are you serious? Again? How many people even play this game? Like 100?
Instant deadpan humor.
Over 6 people think I am funny.
It's a hard day's work. Not that you know anything about that. Which,
absolute fools, it's not.
Witcher nonsense. I'm gonna make Heroclix like that forever. Are you kidding me?
Hey Google, attack someone.
Let's attack Simeon because he's a jerk.
Wow.